What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the Broke to Broke YouTube channel. I know I look a little bit different. It's been a little while since we've made a video on this channel, and I'm really happy with this company in particular, Microbot Medical. We're going to be discussing all their latest news, what is currently going on, and what the community strongly believes is on the horizon with Microbot Medical stock. And we're just going to talk about everything under the sun. This was a company I covered all the way back in February. And at the time when I made that video, it it was hovering pretty well around $2. So it felt like it was a booming stock that was really taking off. Shortly after I published that video, just about 4 months ago now, we had what sadly happened with it. It looks like it kind of. So here's when I posted it. So about February 11th, it does look like it fell off a cliff. So this was a stock that I felt like at the time was really underrated. This was roughly in the time frame when I personally threw some bones into this stock. And boy, am I glad I did, which is why I'm going to be talking about it again for you guys, because they haven't even announced their biggest milestone, which is what they're working towards. It's the 510K FDA approval. They haven't even reached that yet. So there's still plenty on the table for Microbot Medical. And that's just the beginning, right? That's like the gateway, if you will. FDA approval, although is pretty hype and tends to come with a huge flourish in the chart, that's really their gateway. What they're really gearing towards is commercialization, even going as far as to appoint a new director of sales just about a month or two ago. So we'll probably read up on that. I might even have a short snippet of it down here that I will try to find for you guys. But yeah, they've been having a lot happen very recently. They recently also announced that they had 100% pivotal trial success. So you see that here, 100% success rate and a 92% relative reduction in radiation exposure. It's pretty much as good as you can get for a pivotal trial. I think because of that 100% success, it's probably going to get approved. But like with anything, there's risk. There's always risk when it comes to FDA approval or small companies in general, because that's what this company is. It's a very small sized company. Right now, they only have about 100 million in market cap. So we're dealing with a small fish in a big sea, which is the robotics and kind of the healthcare, segments in the stock market. So there's a lot on the table. One thing I also want to talk about, because of their pending FDA approval, which, by the way, is targeted this month in June. So that's also why I wanted to make the video again. It's very relevant because this is the month that they are expecting FDA approval. Now, there are things that can happen where they may need extensions to their time frame. Maybe some information comes back that they have to retest, or more information needs to be gathered. You never know, right? There could be all types of hiccups. There could be things that the FDA doesn't like about their submission. One thing I do want to talk about also is the potential buyouts. I, quite frankly, am not very good at reading SEC submissions, so I tend to just use the handy dandy Gemini, or Chat GPT, if you will. I asked it, is a buyout possible considering Microbot Medical's pending FDA approval, and what companies could potentially buy them out? And after digging into it and doing a bit of fact checking, I think that these are actually great potential options. A Johnson & Johnson buyout, apparently they do have a medical robotics portfolio. Microbot Medical, by the way, if you guys aren't really even aware of Microbot Medical, I recommend this video. It's my initial video, my thoughts about Microbot as a whole. You should click on that video. This is more of like an update video on top of that video. So if you're curious what I personally already think about it, you can read or you can watch this video and I discuss it more in detail about what it exactly is. But it's essentially a catheter robotic system. It's disposable, And with these small catheters, they go inside your blood vessels, can do all types of things, clear blockages, add stents, whatever whatever they need. And they work through like a game controller. So it's really it's different, because right now I believe that there's big machines that do these types of treatments, whereas this would be a small, less invasive type of instrument used, smaller footprint, and it doesn't cause any radiation, which is amazing. But yeah, like I mentioned, there's these buyout companies potentially on the horizon. Now, why would this be significant if a big player, a giant medical company, such as like Stryker Corporation, for example, buys out Microbot Medical? Well, first off, it always yields in a huge amount of value to the shareholders of that company when a large company acquires it. I don't know, to my understanding, what the degree is. Some of them can be, 5x your money from the initial buyout, but it really just, it depends based on, the contract and what they actually deem the value is to buy out the company. Because that's essentially what they're going to do. If this big corporation acquires them, they're going to buy them out. So it's going to be a pretty penny in your pocket if you're in the company that gets bought out. That's kind of a very layman's term of explaining it, but just know that it's pretty much a good thing. So, any of these multi-billion dollar companies buy a sub 100 million market cap company, you're going to be in a good spot. Now, that's not the only thing. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, they appointed a new director of sales. So they are not banking necessarily only on the idea that there could be a potential buyout, which very well could happen. I would think that if they get FDA approved, I'm leaning more towards the fact that they would probably have a buyout, because it's a lot harder for a company to go to market and commercialize their product when you're alone and you're not, the big fish, the proven horse on the track, if you will. It's more difficult for these smaller startup companies to migrate to a commercialization company. But it can happen, and that's why they acquired their new CEO or not CEO, but their sales director. Now I did also want to discuss the fact that they've had a lot of they've had a lot of these direct offerings. So this is one from 3 months ago. Now, the good news is, in recent time, they haven't had any. In the past 3 months, over 3 months, they haven't had a direct offering. So that's also another reason I went in right after this direct offering. I knew that they had a shit ton of money in the bank. So this was 13 million. Before that, they had 8.6 million in January, 3.79 million. 7 million, and I think they had another one at some point, but you get my point. That's like 4 of them right there, direct offerings, all in the start of 2025. They have a lot of cash, and that's actually another reason I'm personally bullish on them. They have so much cash that it's crazy compared to where they were before. So we're gonna look at that. Let me find it real quick. I think it's on the balance sheet. So yeah, I mean, you can even see at the end of 2024, they only had 5 million in cash reserve, but now they're up to 30 plus million. And this was from March 31st. Now that was a little bit ago, but that was just 2 months ago. So it's likely they still have a majority of this money, which in my opinion was really smart of them. They basically brought that price down. They banked a ton of money off the initial FDA submission, because this stock skyrocketed even when they submitted, the potential of FDA approval. Now we're getting close to the determination on whether it's approved or not. And that is also causing now the price to skyrocket. So a lot of eyeballs are on it. In fact, so many eyeballs are on it. that if you even look at the post second half of this year, in the last year, I mean, it's night and day. The difference in sentiment and eyeballs and people looking at this stock, right? So this stock has a lot of hype right now, and they were smart. They collected a crap ton of money from it. Now that does come at a cost of dilution. Is that they could potentially have some dilution. Now this won't really matter a whole lot if you're a short term investor, but in the long term, it's something to definitely keep an eye on. But that's kind of my general, initial findings on Microbot Medical. In my opinion, if they get approval, we're going to see probably another leg up. It's also possible there could be a sell the news type of situation where even after it's approved, the stock could go down for a bit. But then there's also the potential of that buyout, which would be extremely massive. So there's still plenty of things on the horizon. FDA approval itself, followed by going to market and how they go about that, or a buyout. So I'm excited about it, and it's a company that I think is probably doing the best it can, considering we were in a pretty rough April month in the stock market as well. I mean, we can also chalk up a lot of this kind of plummeting in the stock price to the fact that there was a rough period there in April. But I think, moreover, it's a stock that still has a lot of potential. But let me know what you guys think of Microbot Medical. It's a company I'm definitely keeping on my radar. Please invest only what you can afford to lose. You never know what could happen with these companies. It could, become bankrupt 2 days from now. Who knows? But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next video. It's been your boy Cameron on the Broke Brokers YouTube channel. Peace and butt grease. Deuces, guys.